Here.
Yeah, go ahead and grab it real quick. Nah, I'll get the next preset. Hey, shalom, shalom.
Hey, shalom.
Hey, shalom.
First and foremost, giving all praises, honor, glory, and worship unto
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Chakodash.
Double honors unto the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and salutations unto Akim, upholding the testimony of Yahushai in truth and sincerity. All right, as a couple of disciples out of Great Millstone, Atlanta, and we're going to do a lesson regarding Syria, and this is a prophecy update, current event, if you may. But we wanted to clarify everything through the lens of prophecy. In regarding to what's taking place geopolitically in the Levant region. All right. So so for those who don't know, Syria, or the regime in Syria, under Bashar Assad, has just fallen, and Damascus, which is the capital citadel, has fallen. And you know, essentially all of the nation has just fallen, from Aleppo to Hama to Homs to Damascus, in a matter of 2 weeks, which is an electrifying, very quick fall for the regime. And you know, we know Russia. Just to clarify, Russia was backing Bashar Assad. Iran, the Ayatollah, the Persians, they were backing Assad, okay? And we see Turkey was backing the rebels. So one might say, oh, the Turks are at odds with the Russians and the Iranians. Oh, these guys are going to go to war with each other. No, well, we'll see according to biblical prophecy what will happen. And we're going to go into it. So you can go ahead and start off with Joel, brother.
Let me start from the top. It's Joel 3 and verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
It says, "For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, I will also," and Judah and Jerusalem's going into both the northern and the southern kingdom. It says, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, and will plead with them there for my people.
Which is the valley of judgment, or of decision, okay? And now, what is Yahweh Shaphat? What is that talking about? Well, if you look behind you, or behind us, you have the, you know, if they'll be able to see it, I'm not sure if they'll be able to see it, but we can try at least, you know? All right, is what you consider as the Levant, all right? The Levant region, all right, ranging from Egypt onto Syria, Lebanon, Jordan, Israel, all of that vicinity is the Levant, what people consider as the Middle East, right? What also is considered as the land of Shem, or Shem, right? Because Shem was one of the progenitors of the nations who actually who had the Arabs. The Arabs come from the line of Shem. The Israelites come from the line of Shem. The Edomites come from the line of Shem. All right. The Persians come from the line of Shem. Okay. The
Moabites,
the Ammonites, the Assyrians, all right, which are the sons of Ashur, they come from the line of Shem. The Arameans, all right, those who come from Aram, they come from the line of Shem. And all those nations are mingled in the midst of that landmass right now, okay? Some living there for the last several hundred years. Some are being brought there from these other regions to fight out World War III. All right, go ahead, bro.
Verse 2, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, or Jehoshaphat.
Right, so not only the Shemitic nations, but also the Hamitic nations, which are what you consider the Africans. So these different militias that's in South Sudan, and Kenya, and Ethiopia. It tells you that in Ezekiel, the 38th chapter.
I was just pulling that up.
As Ethiopia with them. That's talking about those different militias and armies from Ethiopia. They're going to be brought to the Middle East. All right? They're going to be brought to the Middle East. Yep. The Canaan, those different nations, the Canaanite armies are going to be brought there. All right? And it's what? For the purpose of the Heavenly Father's judgment. That's the purpose of it. Okay? Go ahead.
Just to back up your point of the different nations, this is Ezekiel 38 and verse 5. It says Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya, showing us the northern African nations, as well as Persia, which is Iran. With them.
And you can also apply that to Put too. It's talking about the actual Ethiopia. It's talking about, Libya as the country, but also the nation of Put, which is in South Libya, and in the right, those Bedouins right above in the Sahel region. Those are the people who descend from Put, which is ancient Libya. They also will be brought over to the Middle East. Go ahead.
With them, all of them with shield and helmet.
Mm-hmm.
Gomer and all his bands.
Which was Gomer.
Turkey.
Yep. So Gomer is going to be with who? It's going to be with God. Because when you read up, it's talking about God is going to be leading them. Who is God? Russia. So those who say, Turkey and Russia, they're at odds. Turkey and Russia, they're not going to see eye to eye. Well, whatever. Ultimately, we understand, according to biblical prophecy, Turkey and Russia are going to fight together in this Third World War. Go ahead, bro.
Gomer and all his bands, the house of Togarmah, of the north quarters, and all his bands, and many people with thee. But yeah, just showing he's got a whole coalition, or Russia, Gog and Magog. There's this whole coalition of these African nations, these so-called Middle Eastern or Western Asian nations, and they're all going to fight together with or against America and against the land of Israel.
Mm-hmm.
But back to Joel 3, it says, and we'll plead with them there, or 3 and 2, and we'll plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and part of my land. And so this is going into the whole reason this World War III is about to start is because of what they did to the apple of the Lord's eye, the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, the Israelites. Do we keep going?
If you got more, otherwise I know he got a precept.
Yeah, bust it
Was that what you want him to get the top of Joel? Or
No, go ahead. Whatever you got in Joel. What part of Joel you got?
who, me?
Yeah.
Well, I thought you wanted him to get the verse 9 proclaim war.
Yeah, that's what I wanted. But if are you holding that?
I'm holding something else. I'm holding and I'll go ahead and bring it out.
Yeah,
This is
we can go back to
Second
Joel
Ezra's 15th chapter,
Mm-hmm.
and I got this in the GNT for verse 16 is the point, but I started 14. It says the world and the people in it are doomed. The war that will bring their destruction is very near. And you're going into that now. It says nations will arm themselves and fight against other nations. And this is the point. There will be great political turmoil with one group trying to overpower another and gain control while ignoring the legitimate government. So that was the point. Just it's a lot of political turmoil going on, turmoil is like commotion.
Sedition.
Sedition. It's a lot going on right now, just politically with CEOs being targets, heads of states being targets. This is just an overall climate of war. Y'all got it.
Fine, bro. Water. Go ahead with Joel 3 and 9, Baba Kushar. If you got that to mind, Joel 3 and 9. You good, bro. And that's what we see taking place right now in Syria, sedition, which is uprising against authority, all right, and invading one another. That's exactly what we see taking place.
Because that's what he's about to read is about, where it says about the heathen being awakened.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, because awakened goes into being like aroused and incited. So we're seeing, various heathen being incited that causing commotion, political turmoil. You got it.
Joel 3 and verse 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up.
Mm-hmm.
Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong.
Yeah, this is a time for military drills. This is a time for alliances, preparing for battle. This ain't the time of peace. This isn't a time of everybody on the earth coming together as one big human family. This is a time for battle because nations are ready to take over. They're ready to be up next. They have agendas. They have conspiracies pursuant to Psalms, the second chapter.
Mm-hmm.
They're raging, they're conspiring. So the Lord is he's stirring this up. He's inciting this thing. Go ahead. Did you have a point?
Oh, you on point, man.
You got it.
Verse 11. Assemble yourselves and come all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord.
Now, where are they gathering themselves? That's a key point of emphasis. They gather themselves into the Levant, the Middle East. All right, that's where these heathen in the land of Syria, in the land of Iraq, in the land of Saudi Arabia, that the barren land, the desolate. That's as Bob talked about. It's Saudi Arabia. All right, the hindmost sea, all that.
Yeah.
The land of Israel, the land of Lebanon. That's the landmass that's been spoken of, and that's the landmass that's very, very hot right now.
Yeah.
Very hot. Go ahead. Go ahead, precept or comment.
Yeah, or just continuing with this.
Mm-hmm.
Joel, verse 11 again. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord.
Right, because that's when the Lord, Yahweh Shah, is going to return. He's going to return in the midst of these heathens, he's going to return in the midst of these heathens fighting in the Middle East. Okay? And this is when Yahweh Shah is going to return. And it says that's what's going to cause his mighty ones to come down, because when you go into the book of Second Ezra, I believe, it speaks about Yahweh Shah's chariot, all right, or his armies. Essentially, the Heavenly Father's Son, he's going to turn the remaining members of the armies of the earth into powder. He's going to destroy them with concentrated fire in the Middle East. He's going to, I like to say, he's going to check them in Jehoshaphat.
Yeah, because the Lord is coming back in the midst of, in the middle of battle. There's going to be a worldwide battle, which is the third war that's coming quickly. So the Lord is going to come back in the midst of that, and they're going to, the focus is going to shift from each other to the Lord, and that's when the Lord is going to go ahead and cause the heathen to cease, with their inventions. Like it says, he's going to rebuke the devices, the inventions of the heathen.
That's right.
You got it.
Just jumping in with the precept back up that point. Revelation 16 and 12. And the sixth angel poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates. This is the same area we're talking about right here. And the water thereof was dried up, that the way of the kings of the east might be prepared. And these are, you got it. These are these same bands that we're talking about with Gog and Magog, with Russia. His allies that he's been aligning with over the last more than decade, since he's been in power, really, because he's down there in Africa, and the Africans, the Hamites, like him. They like the Russians because they didn't set up any colonies down there and stuff like that.
And they provide them with grain.
Yeah.
That's a part of them being a guard on them too, because they provide them with food, and they also provide them with military arsenals to combat the different jihadis they're fighting against, and also their former colonizers.
Yeah. And then Persia, Iran, they're buddy. China, the kings of the east. These are east. We're in the west currently, but all these other nations are in the east, and they're all aligning with Russia, and they're going to take down the west because it's biblical prophecy, and they're all going to join down into this area, into the Levant, around the Euphrates River, and they're gonna throw down.
They're gonna cross the Euphrates River and they're gonna fight. All right, you see all these nations, all these nations. This is the central point, Israel. When it says that's the location you should be considering. Now, what's east of Israel? All this. Russia is north. It's also called the North Country, Russia, but it's also east of the landmass of Israel. All right, all of this is considered the east. Is the east. So these different nations, including North Korea, so on and so forth, they're going to come and fight in the Levant region. All right.
Yep, and that river is drying up. When you Google it, the Euphrates is actually drying up, and it's ironically, the Lord had it set up to where it symbolizes the Omega symbol, which means the end.
Oh yeah.
So this is the end, and this is the last water is going to be fought on this earth. You got it.
Jeremiah 50 and verse 9. For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. Their arrows shall be as mighty as a mighty expert man.
Yeah, them 5,000 warheads Russia got on deck. That's that north country that's being stirred up to come against Babylon. Go ahead. They ain't coming by themselves. They gonna have some help with them. Go ahead. And then the Lord ultimately gonna be with them too to get the best of Babylon too.
None shall return in vain.
Yep, because it tell you in was that second edges as an archer when it's shot, because the Lord is gonna be guiding those arrows. That they're not gonna be, even in Joel's talk, they're not gonna be breaking their rank. They're not gonna be, malfunctioning, and them motherfuckers gonna come like horses. The Bible describes them as horses. They're gonna come in rank. They're gonna come with that power. And they're gonna hit his target. Because again, the Lord's Spirit is gonna be directing these things, because His incorruptible Spirit is in all things. So He's gonna be guiding these things to bring it into this place. Israel gonna get hit too. You got it.
This is jump to your point, Joel 2 and verse 4. The appearance of them is as the appearance of horses. As a horseman, so shall they run. Like the noise of chariots on the tops of mountains shall they leap. Like the noise of a flame of fire that devoureth the stubble. As a strong people set in battle array.
You got it.
But yeah, Lord's going to send these arrows, and they're not going to return in vain. They're going to hit every single target, and they're going to destroy and put down Babylon and put down the land of Israel, because he's against them. This is to take Esau out of power.
Yep. Right. Yep. The controversy of Zion
is fulfilled, man.
Just like it said in Joel 3, because it's for his people. And so all these heathen have to go down now. Yeah. Back to Jeremiah 50, and you got it. Verse 10. And Chaldea shall be a spoil. All that spoil her shall be satisfied, saith the Lord.
Chaldea is going into it. Go ahead, bro.
You got it.
I was going to say Chaldea, the ancient Chaldea was in Syria. It was in Iraq. All right. But Chaldea, the modern Chaldea is America. All right. And America is going to be a spoil. Not only the physical landmass of America, but more so that landmass is going to be destroyed ultimately, but the empire of America, all right, and the influence of America is going to be diminished and destroyed and given to others, specifically the Israelites in long term. Go ahead.
Yep. Verse 11, and it's going into the point of why. Why is this happening?
Why is it happening?
It says, because you were glad, because you rejoiced, O ye destroyers of mine heritage, because you are grown fat as the heifer at grass and bellow as bulls.
Yep, this place is waxed worse and worse in its pride. And also the Lord is letting it be known He's fighting for His heritage, Israel. Right. Because Israel itself, we can't fight for our heritage. If it was up to us to defend our heritage, we done. The Lord said, I will discontinue you from your heritage. So he purposely discontinued the heritage from us just to fight for us in the end for the heritage. It's the Lord's fight. Exodus 14:14. He said, you should hold your peace and I will fight for you. The Lord fighting against these heathens for us. He's stirring up all of this chaos and back and forth between these nations for the sake of his heritage, Israel.
Yeah, that's right.
You got it.
For his name's sake.
For his name's sake.
You know, which we're connected to his name. You know, we're married unto him. You know, the Lord made a covenant with our people, our forefathers. And the Lord he's more than willing to abide by that oath. You know?
Yeah, quick precept and then you can finish that.
Yeah.
Jeremiah 33:14, it says, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will perform that good thing which I have promised unto the house of Israel and to the house of Judah. And that good thing is the salvation, just bringing us out of captivity. The Lord has done this for us time and time in the past. To each one of the beasts, that we went, captivities that we went through in Daniel 7th chapter, and we being at the last, the toes of the statue, and the fourth beast, the Lord is about to perform that good thing, which is get us up out of here. You got it, bro.
I'm going to jump back to Joel 3:10. It says, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Mm-hmm. And as we're talking about, these are these other nations that are in those bands of Russia with these North African nations with you're seeing North Korea now. They sent troops over to Russia and or into Ukraine, but to help out Russia.
Yeah.
You're seeing China, who was really a poor nation at one point, and U.S. used to put them down. You're seeing them all rise up. I'm not saying China is like some weak nation, but you're seeing these nations all band together. You're seeing them raise up, and now they have nuclear capabilities.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
like Hezbollah, which was in Lebanon, they were weak, but now they got all type of missiles that to smack Israel up inside the basketball court. You got the Yemenis. They got hypersonic missiles. Lord forbid they put a big boy warhead on it. Mm-hmm. Y'all going to hell. All right? They're going to send y'all crackers to hell. Then you got all these different nations who were one point weak, but they've gotten strong. So even the Syrians, the Syrian opposition, may I say, they were weak. Now when you see them running through fucking Damascus and Aleppo, these guys look like, they got all type of tanks and Humvees and, Chinese and top level AKs and shit, and uniforms fitted out, all type of good chest rigs, high quality chest rigs, and like these guys, they're not the rebels that we saw in 2012, 2013. They become strong. They look like a sophisticated professional army. All right. So that's the weak saying I'm strong. You see Iran, they got the super soaker for you. They got the hypersonic missile. Mm-hmm. That's why Israel over here shaking in their boots right now. Because the Iranians, at one point, they were weak. But now they can shoot a hypersonic missile over to you and take your whole city out. That's the weak saying I'm strong.
Yep. In the beginning of that, it says, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Mm-hmm. And these are things they could have been putting, or these resources they could have been putting into their infrastructure and their economy, into their agriculture, and they're putting their resources into warfare because, as it says in Ecclesiastes, there's a time of war, time of peace, time for war, and this is wartime, and they're getting ready, and the Lord's put it into their minds to do this.
And it's going to also lead to famine too, because their focus is so much of an emphasis on war. Yeah. They're depleting their focus on agriculture and things of this nature. Mm-hmm. That's why the Bible said there should be many on the earth that dwell on the earth should die of famine. Mm-hmm. All right, because these guys are just focusing on war for the most part, not the other aspects of life. Where
even here when they had the wars, they had that was when rationing became a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
just like you said. They all kind of go hand in hand together. That's dope. Good.
Yeah, war and family. Go in. Yeah. Oh. But the Lord said His servants shall eat. All right. We ain't got nothing to worry about.
That's right.
As long as you're faithful.
That's right.
11. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord.
Yeah.
You got it.
It's interesting how the Lord said all you heathen, because that's who we seeing the most activity from is the heathen.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to Jake, we ain't doing shit but going to work and trying to pay bills.
Jake don't even know what's going on.
No, we don't know what's going on. Meanwhile, the Lord is doing this in real time, stirring all these heathen up and rousing their asses up, getting them ready for war. Now, you're going to have Jakes to get caught up in this, but the Lord is stirring the heathen up for this.
Yeah. For his purpose.
For his purpose.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Verse 12, let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat.
Let their ass be roused up. Let them move around over there in the Middle East. Let them shoot bombs, make threats.
Yeah.
You know, let them mobilize. Let them train. Let them form alliances.
Yeah.
Let them make assassination attempts. All of that. Go ahead.
For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about.
Yep. For then will he sit there, will he judge all the heathen?
And that's
Okay.
the name of it. So,
You got it, bro.
put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come get you down, for the press is full, the fats overflow, for the wickedness is great.
That's what we call a metaphor. You know, dark speech, dark sayings. You know, the Lord is saying that basically the wickedness of the earth has, you know, reached its limit. All right, the fruit of the elect is ripe, ready for the harvest and ready to be, you know, separated. Just like when you growing fruits and you have a garden, you know, you let it, a tomato plant, you see the green tomato coming out, you see it getting ripe, then you pluck it off, you take it off the stem. The elect represent the grape, you know, of a huge cluster.
Yeah.
And the Lord is saying that, okay, it's time to go ahead and get them out there. All right, the wickedness of Babylon, the sins of Babylon are reaching to the heavens, Revelation 18:5, and now it's time to end it.
That's right.
You got a point on?
No, that's beautiful.
Okay.
Beautiful said.
It's a big old sacrifice, too.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a big altar, and these folks are...
The Levant is an altar and America is an altar. That's also why it's called Sham, which means memorial or name, you know? Because it's going to be the memorial of the Lord when the kingdom of heaven is established, but also it's going to be destroyed through fire.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's going to be an altar.
And it's going to bring glory to the name.
It's going to be, that's what the altars, the purpose of the altar is to bring glory into the name of Yahweh. That's on Ba'ashem Yahshua. That's the purpose of the altar. All right?
Yep.
Go ahead.
Just jumping
Mm-hmm.
by that precept, Isaiah 34:6. The sword of the Lord is filled with blood, and it is made fat with the fatness and with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of the kidneys of the rams. For the Lord hath a sacrifice in Basra and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. Just, you got it.
No, bring it up.
Yeah, just showing the Lord is setting up these things to have a great sacrifice on the altar. And first and foremost, Idumea, the so-called Caucasians, especially those small hatters that call themselves the Lord's people, they're about to be sacrificed. They're about to be taken out of power, and this is a great altar.
That's right.
That's why it says in Basra, he's got to sacrifice in Basra. That's one of their head cities.
Mm-hmm.
And the Lord's coming to take them down first and foremost, but just as well the other heathen.
Yep.
It's going to be a sweet savor unto him.
Yeah, because Babylon is a great city. This is their chief baby. This is where a lot of their works are fulfilled through the portal of Babylon, you know, being the hub of many enchantments and sorceries. They got a great concentration of Israelites here, you know, and the Lord is literally comparing the people to rams and bullocks, but he's talking about the people, and the people are being made fat in their ignorance, their pride, you know, their stupidity, and literally they fat as hell, you know, they're obese, you know, and the Lord is really literally preparing a sacrifice to take place here. That's why he has the elect offering up their sacrifices now, and he's about to require a sacrifice from everyone else in Basra, which is the chief city of Edom, the great city of Babylon the Great.
Yeah.
You know?
Verse 7, just because it backs up exactly what you were saying.
Okay.
It says, and the unicorns shall come down with them, and the bullocks with the bulls, and their land shall be soaked with blood, and their dust made fat with fatness.
Yeah.
For his, exactly as you're saying, these people have been fattened up with their pride and their wickedness, and their sins have reached unto heaven. And the Lord's he's coming to take them down. And it's going to be a great sacrifice. And he's referring to them just like they're some sacrificial animal.
Mm-hmm.
These bulls and bullocks and
And just to add to that, because we're also likened to animals. The Lord said, if you love me, feed my sheep. Was he talking about his actual sheep? No, he was talking about his followers, his people.
That's right.
So the people are also likened to the sheep and the bullocks and all of that. You got it?
Verse 8, for it is the day of the Lord's vengeance and the year of recompenses for the controversy of Zion.
Right, which is a recompense, is a payback. It's you again, the heritage of Israel, we deserve a payback. You know, what's been done to us is unjust, it's something that has never been repaired. You know, you talk about reparations, Jake talking about reparations. We've never gotten anything back from what we've gone through. That's why the Lord is saying he's gonna bring the recompense. That's why this is all about the faith and the patience of the saints, because this is telling you where our victory, where our recompense is going to come from. It's going to come from the Lord spilling blood of those that shed our blood.
That's right.
Not us. All we have to do is be fulfilled. Here's the patience and the faith of the saints, because this is through great patience and faith that we sit here and we read these Lord willing comforting words and you know, prophesy these things, because this is what the Lord said he would do. And he's going to do them. Just be patient and wait and have faith. But the Lord is going to deal with this. He's going to address this place. That's why it's important to watch what's going on and pay attention, like I mentioned earlier, through Spirit about that the brother brought out the Euphrates River drying up. If you ain't paying attention to that and you see it in real time drying up, it's easy to get to lose the focus on what's really going on, because we're at the end. And if you not paying attention long enough, you're going to miss it all and you're going to be stuck.
Well, the scripture says, watch as well as pray. And it speaks about watching that they take you not unaware. All right, so always being sober-minded, always being considerate, always stand, always considering the prophecies, and always being willing to lose your life. All right, because what blinds people often is pride and the ideology that, this world right here is okay, and we can push the kingdom and stuff. We can push it back.
It ain't that bad.
It's not that bad.
It is that bad.
It is that bad. So you have to. You're just not seeing it that way because you're blinded by. You've got choking up by the deceitfulness of the riches. It says with the parable of the sower, the deceitful lust of this world. Right, which is unprofitable unto the next world, or ultimately yourself. I mean, we use it, but we don't abuse it. Scripture says, be users of the world and not abusers, for the fashion of this world. Everything we see, touch, hear, it's going to pass away. This society is going to pass away. So putting the Heavenly Father first is going to be your best bet. And then, brothers, anything else we can wrap it up?
Just end it out back in Joel 3, unless you had something there. Joel 3 and verse 14. It says, multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision. And the Lord's coming back to judge all these people, and he's going to do it over there in this area, the Levant, where all of these things are going on currently. There's a lot of turmoil going on. Syria just fell. The Assad regime just fell. He's failed. Around for 13 years. He had a 13-year...
And his father ruled since like the 70s.
Yeah. They're done. But the Lord's coming back for his people. For what's been done to his people. And so we're watching the moves be set up right now. And eventually they're going to all gather around there. In the Euphrates, and the Lord is going to judge them, and it's going to be beautiful. and we're going to be delivered. America's going to be destroyed. All of our enemies are going to be put down through the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua.
Hey, so Lord willing, that was an edifying lesson. We're going to close by giving all glory and praise and honor once more and two.
Yahweh Bashem Yahushua Bashem Kodash.
The belongs to our leadership, the apostles, elders, and great millstone. Peace, mercy, and grace to the household of faith, the elect. Until next time, we say, Shalom.
Shalom.